In the 1950s, a young girl decided to change her name from Susan Kerr Weld to Tuesday Weld. On the surface, this seemed a normal thing to do, as many up-and-coming actresses had their names changed for various reasons. However, for this particular girl, altering her name was an attempt to come to terms with the harsh realities fate had presented to her. She had to turn into a different person to cope with the complexities of being a child responsible for providing for her mother and siblings at such a young age. The very struggles she endured led to her nervous breakdown and attempt to take her own life and relationships with men who could be considered father figures. The story of Tuesday Weld is unlike anything you've ever heard before, and this is how it begins. An early tragedy. For Tuesday Weld, the hopes of a normal childhood eluded her before she even began to walk properly. It all began on Friday, the 27th of August, 1943, when this cute girl was born. Bright and starry-eyed, she came into the world with joy and the innocence of a child, but it won't be long before that very innocence would be snatched away. Born Susan Kerr Weld in Manhattan, this girl's childhood was chaotic and challenging. Why? Well, let's start with the fact that her parents were not well-to-do. Not only did her parents struggle financially, her father, Lathrop, battled with several addictions that made life even more difficult for Tuesday and her siblings. But although Lathrop was struggling financially, his parents were rich, so he would often get money from them to take care of his family. Tuesday and her siblings hoped for a better life and maybe a chance to finally enjoy their childhood, but what they didn't know was that fate had other plans. Just before Tuesday turned 4, tragedy struck as they experienced a loss they didn't see coming. Her father passed away, leaving them shattered and penniless. Unfortunately, her mother, Yosen Kerr, was not working at the time, so you can imagine the financial turmoil they were set to face. It was in that moment, in a pit of confusion and despair, that Tuesday's mother noticed how beautiful she was. She also saw then and there that Tuesday had the looks of a star. She then decided to start looking for modeling gigs for Tuesday so that when she got paid, the family would be about to live off her income. From that moment, a heavy responsibility rested on Tuesday's shoulders, and there was nothing she could do about it. Her father's family, who were wealthy and living in Tuxedo Park at the time, offered to take her and her siblings away, but it was on one condition, that their mother will never see them again. Although this was a chance at a better life for the children, her mother was not having it. She didn't want to be separated from her kids, so she decided to use Tuesday to execute her plan. Innocent child turned breadwinner. In a 1971 interview, Tuesday told Life magazine this: "I became the supporter of the family, and I had to take my father's place in many, many ways. I was expected to make up for everything that had ever gone wrong in Mama's life." It's rare to hear of a 5-year-old who walks around believing that they have to work hard in order to fend for their family, but this was Tuesday's reality. Her mother, Yosen, was right. She had the looks and the potential to become a successful child model, and that was exactly what happened. Yosen quickly found a way to get her daughter in modeling spaces, and before she knew it, she was posing as a child model. When Tuesday was not posing for advertisements, she was posing for mail-order catalogs, and nothing about her life resembled the life of a child between the ages of 5 to 8. The work she did put food on the table, so she had no choice but to keep working so that her family won't starve. The pressure was intense, but Tuesday had accepted her fate. Truth is, even grown-ups sometimes crumble under such pressure, so it was surprising that she was able to keep it together for that long. She walked around with the burdens of a 40-year-old man on her shoulders, and as expected, her little shoulders couldn't carry these burdens for long. Soon enough, she broke down and started running to unhealthy coping mechanisms for solace. An early addiction and becoming Hollywood's golden girl. When Tuesday had a nervous breakdown at the age of 9, she didn't get any medical attention. Her mother was more concerned about her making money, so instead of taking the responsibilities off her shoulder, her mother decided to move the family to Fort Lauderdale for a fresh start. But it was a little too late for Tuesday to have even a semblance of a normal childhood. She was already addicted to booze and ran to it quite often to cope with her problems. Shortly after the move, Tuesday had to move back to the Big Apple with her mother, where she would go and work some more in order to provide for her family. By this time, her life was already in shambles. She was dealing with several addictions and was allegedly involved in numerous love affairs. In the year 1956, she dipped her toes into the world of acting by appearing in the low-budget exploitation film Rock, 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 and that was the beginning of her acting career. After a few minor TV appearances, she was noticed by Alfred Hitchcock, who decided to give her a small role in his crime drama film The Wrong Man. Although she had a promising future in the entertainment industry, she was still struggling. Unlike modeling, where she just had to pose, acting required her to memorize lines and embody her characters perfectly. This was even more difficult. Although the roles kept coming in, Weld was suffering emotionally. She reportedly added pills to her list of coping mechanisms, hoping that she would be able to withstand the pressure, but it only kept getting worse. In 1958, she appeared in the comedy film Rally Round the Flag Boys, and in the following year she portrayed Danny Kaye in The Five Pennies. However, her role in the CBS television series The Many Lives of Dobie Gillises was said to be the role that made her a household name at the time. She became popular for her roles as a precarious sex kitten. While a lot of fans enjoyed her roles, not many of them knew that she was able to embody some of those roles because she grew up too fast. Soon enough, Tuesday became one of Hollywood's most loved teen stars, but in reality, she was suffering and smiling. Tuesday later revealed that she tried to take her own life in the early years of her acting career. When she was just 12 years old, she had enough and she just wanted to end it all. However, her attempt wasn't successful. She was quickly rushed to the hospital where she ended up in a coma. When she recovered, it was as though she decided that she was ready to focus on her career and try to love the life she had built. She later appeared in several other films like Wild in the Country and Bus Stop. She made Hollywood fall helplessly in love with her, but all that changed in the year 2001. The day she left Hollywood. This Hollywood sweetheart spent the better part of her childhood and teenage years gracing the entertainment scene, all in an effort to fulfill her mother's wishes. It was a life filled with lights, cameras, and action as she worked hard to provide for her family. But then in 2001, something shifted. Her world changed dramatically when her mother bid farewell. It seems like her mom's passing made her question why she was still in the entertainment industry. Her mother was no longer there to force her. She was finally free. After her mom's passing, Tuesday Weld decided to hit the pause button on Hollywood. In a surprising move, she packed her bags and headed to the serene landscapes of Colorado. Seemingly in pursuit of a quieter and more tranquil existence, it was like she craved a break from the chaos, expressing a deep hunger for silence. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Despite seeking peace and quiet, rumors began to swirl. Some speculated about Weld's mental health, tossing around whispers of bipolar disorder. It added a layer of mystery to her departure from the glitzy world of Hollywood. Fast forward 17 years, and guess what? Tuesday Weld made a comeback to the very place she had bid adieu to, Hollywood. It's like she stepped back into the limelight after almost 2 decades of seeking solace in the mountains. The question is, why the return? What changed in those years of silence and introspection? Only Tuesday can answer these questions. No one knows for a fact if she is going to return to her career one day.